coffee here?
Hey, what's up, guys?
We might.
Hey,
I don't
Jeff.
have any left. This guy came in drinking all.
Oh, that's, he got a haircut, man. You're starting to get kind of straight looking.
I know, right?
What's up with you, man? You got the father, have kids.
Yeah, that's what happens to you when you get old like me.
Anyway.
I think it should be old Michael Jackson, I'll be young Michael Jackson.
It would be great because you wear masks.
Exactly. I'll be,
That's funny.
I'll be baby Michael, you'll be old Michael. Right, Jeff? Our costume's gonna be, she's gonna be old Michael Jackson, I'm gonna be baby Michael Jackson.
Ask Jeff how old he is because he's had the Fluid Coffee Bar for about 16 years or something.
Like that.
And his kids, to give you a perspective, you have 3 kids, right? Mm-hmm. And your oldest, Riley, is it Riley?
Riley, yeah.
She just turned 16, and she was born around the time the Fluid started. So I just asked Jeff how old he is, and he had to go to Siri to ask.
We figured it out.
Figure out.
45 years of age.
45. He's 45 young, and I'm 68. Look at the karma board. There's a karma board. That's kind of good. So that's kind of cool. Hey, hold on. I'm talking without my headset. You can still hear me without my headset. Okay, it's very early in the morning, October 11th. I'm going to say very early. Let me be specific. It's 3:56 a.m. Pacific time. I'm up early for a couple reasons. Number one, this is the last leg of a very tight load that I picked up in Oregon that's being delivered in the Los Angeles area. I have to look at my GPS really quick, but I'm approximately, I think, 256 miles away, and it's about a 5-hour drive. The delivery parameters was from 7 a.m. till 12 noon. If I remember correctly, if I do my pre-trip after my 10-hour break, do my pre-trip and drive straight through, without stopping at all, 5 hours, depending on LA morning traffic, I'll get there with maybe an hour and a half to spare. That's about the best I can do. The last 3 loads I've just done have not been, how do I say it, haven't been as much fun, because normally with my loads with night, there is some cushion, and especially if I have a load where it has the ones I love don't have like even a parameter where it's 7 to 11. There are some loads that literally I have to be there at a specific time, like 7:30 a.m. sharp. Those are hard because you have to be there not only on time, but you have to time it so you arrive, at 7:30 a.m. And when you're 1,000 miles out or something, it's hard. I love the ones that are 24-hour window. Then they're really easy, pretty easy. But anyway, I'm getting up early because of that. The other is I make a video when I wake up in the morning, often an hour. It's kind of like what I do. found a video last night that I'd done a few days. I don't know what the date was. I think it was October 4th. And yeah, I'm cranking out these videos, and I'm usually doing 2 or 3 a day. And then that content's building up, and I watched one, and I just downloaded it to YouTube. That I do like what I said. You know, I recorded it at home. It wasn't in the truck, and I like the way I broke things down about the here and now, right now. And so there are some clips that I do, or videos I do, that it's better just to use the original one and share it with you, which that's the cool thing about iMovie. One of the cool things about it is if I have something in my photo library or something that I've saved that I want to use, instead of re-recording and trying to make a new video saying the same message, I can save time and use that exact message, and it serves the purpose. Okay. Also, if you are watching this video, I can just refer. I'm building. I have, I think, 100 downloads, so I have videos where I can refer you to a video that's already on the playlist. You know what I mean? So, what I'm trying to say is, I'm starting to get to the point that I'm figuring things out, and that I'm fleshing things out. And I'm starting to, through the making these videos myself, I'm starting to understand my own journey. You know, like, how did I get here? You know, that's a big one for me. That includes flashbacks all the way back to Denver, to Taki's restaurant, because it's important to understand, I think, for all of us, how did I get here? You know, what were some of the contributing things that happened? Because I don't know about you, and I'm having to hold this camera like this versus putting it on the windshield, because the lighting when I'm sitting back on the sleeper here when it's dark is the best. I'll show you. I'm gonna turn this off, and I'm gonna sit in the driver's seat, open the curtains. The curtains are all closed, and I'm in my little cocoon, and show you the lighting difference. But it's a little easier because I don't have to hold the camera, but you can still hear me. And also, I'm gonna get my headset, make sure it's on. This video, I think I have about 1 hour and 10 minutes before my 10-hour break is up, and I like to get coffee before I start, so that's kind of what we're up against. But in this video, I often will just get up and start recording video, and I don't really have a plan until I get into it. Then I start piecing things together. But this particular video, if I put that piece that I really like on here, it's going to take up like 25 minutes of an hour when it's already downloaded onto YouTube. So it's there right now. So it might be best if just encourage you just to check that out. I like what I said. It's interesting when you make these videos and you talk from the heart, and it's spontaneous and authentic, and then you go back, maybe you discover a video. I discovered a video I did 10 days ago, and you're able to understand a little bit about where I am, how I got here, and those kinds of things, because that's really huge. And it also has to do with destiny, karma, cause and effect, so that you can kind of like learn from your experience. You're not beating yourself up. You can't change the past. You don't want to. You've heard this over and over again with personal development. You want to take full responsibility. You don't want to blame another person, even though maybe another person did in fact contribute to what's happened. They were a contributor, a factor. Let's be real. Sometimes it's two people, if they're involved, have to both take responsibility and also can talk about it too. And they're not blaming one another. They're saying, well, I take responsibility. I made this decision with the best awareness I had at the time, and then I realized after the fact that maybe it wasn't the best decision, but I felt in my heart of hearts at the time it was. This is what I've learned from the experience, okay? So I'm gonna turn this off, put my headset on, I'm gonna double check the amount of time I have, and I definitely need my coffee this morning because it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, I have 5 minutes before I have to do my pre-trip and roll down the highway, but what I'm gonna add is a video that I mixed yesterday to this, okay? So it's one of the things I do, because part of the process is I make the video, okay, and then when I'm done, I download it to my photos, okay? And it's on my photos, okay? It's also on my iMovie, available to use parts of it or all of it for a future video. And then I download it to YouTube. So what I'm gonna do, because I don't have a lot of time for editing this morning, I'm gonna cheat. Because you probably haven't seen this, I'm gonna add, but I'm telling you up front, so you're watching this going, now what is this? This is from yesterday. And I'm rolling down the highway. I'll probably have time later today to do some more video editing and stuff, but I'm gonna play this for you. And I'm gonna be back with you in daytime hours later today. Okay. Again, I say this over and over again. It'd be pretty obvious. My moment right now, you're not here. I'm just talking to the camera. However, time is kind of an illusion. That's another whole huge subject related to Buddhism and life. In Buddhist terms, they call, time a passing memory. Passing. Like right now, I'm talking to the camera. As soon as I put this in and explain why I'm doing this now, it'll be there. It's going to be in the past, my past. And it's going to be in memory. For you, if you're watching this, because it's pre-recorded, it's your present moment. But I don't know where your present moment's going to be. It's the 9th of October. You could be watching this today if I download it fast enough. Anywhere on the planet. Sylvia could be watching this in Brazil. Scott could be watching this in Las Vegas. Sophia could be watching this in Denver. Yuki in Japan, 16 hours later. I don't know if it's 9 o'clock now. It's like in the middle of the night. So, but the point is, it's here, okay? And through technology and the beauty of these little recording devices in iMovie, I can do this. I shot these driving scenes, driving from Portland, Oregon, beautiful drive, up through Mount Hood to beautiful drive, and it was about 150 miles or so, something like that, to pick up a preloaded trailer near Bend, Oregon, and now I'm physically in a little truck stop called Gordy's on US 97, south of Bend, north of Weed, California. So it's welcome aboard. I love my life. I consider myself not just a truck driver, I consider myself like a land pilot, land astronaut. I have mentioned this again and again. I am 68 years old. I tell myself all the time I'm 68 years old because I want to remind myself time is of the essence. 1:52 a.m. here, and I'm in let me be as specific as I can. I'm in my night transportation truck. I have my sleeper lights on. It's dark outside. Isn't the best lighting. Everybody else here is sleeping. I'm on US 97 at a truck stop that I stopped last night called Gordy's. Okay. I stopped here because I just picked up a load that's going to Southern California. The loaded miles was about 800 and something miles, okay. It was a drop and hook, kind of a weird drop and hook, but a cool drop and hook, and I'll describe it, okay. This doesn't happen very often. Normally, as a truck driver, this is just a kind of side training information thing that may not interest you at all if you're not interested in truck driving, but that's going to be brief, okay? Normally a drop and hook, you check with the shipping department or a guard, and you say, I'm with Knight Transportation, I understand I have a preloaded trailer, and you give them the information. They tell you where to drop the empty, they tell you where your loaded trailer is, you sign your paperwork, they confirm the seal, you do arrived at shipper and loaded call and all that, okay? This one I did last night is actually pretty cool. I have an address, and you're driving, and I actually have some videos on here that I can show you, just made yesterday, that I think you're gonna like. So even if you don't like truck driving, watch these videos. I think you'll like the scenery. Sylvia, if you're here, Mike, Yuki, Yumi, you know, check this out. I just made these videos during the day. Now it's the next morning, okay? This is as fresh as I'm gonna get because I'm not into the future yet. This is my present, are you with me? So I drove all through the mountains, okay? And before this all happened, I'll tell you what, let me try to explain it this way. I've said this over and over again. I'm 68 years old. What I thought it was going to be like when you're 68 or 70. Now, Mike, I don't know if Mike's even watching my videos anymore. I think Mike is 36, okay? I remember like it was yesterday when I was 36. I actually moved to Denver, Colorado when I was 37 years old. I remember it like it was just yesterday. And 60, not even 68, 60 seemed like way off in the future, way off. Like I don't even have to think about it, you know. It's like I can't even use it. I can't even think of an analogy, you know. It's kind of like, you know, you're an astronaut, and they somehow give you a pill where you can live for like 350 years or something, and you're traveling to another planet, and the travel time to that planet is 350 light years. And you're like, well, okay, no problem. That's like 350 light years away. You know, I don't even have to think about that right now. You know, that's kind of like that. But now I'm here. I'm actually not 60, but I'm 68, okay? Now, there's people like Sylvia, who's my ex-Brazilian girlfriend, who I don't even know is watching me now. Or listening to me. She does open my videos, but because she doesn't comment. And let me put it this way. I came home on April 20th, 1999, to the worst high school shooting in U.S. history at that time. I'd just been in Brazil. It was my second time to Brazil. I went twice within a 3-month period to visit her when we were boyfriend and girlfriend, and she had just broken up with me on that trip. Now that seems, now technically in Earth years in real time, you know, 1999 is how many years ago? You know, 22 years. 22 years is a long time, but I remember Sylvia was like 36 going on 37 when I met her. Now I believe she just turned 60. Seems impossible. Her daughter Sabine is about the age that she was when I met her. So the point with all of this is time. Time is illusion in a way, but it's also very real. How is it real? How do we measure time? Well, the truth is, you, me, Mike, Sylvia, Yuki, Yumi, my mom and dad, every human being on the planet right now, every single human being, even ones that are born like today, it's 2 o'clock in the morning on whatever day it is, October 10th, okay, right now. Now here's a sobering thought, and I know I'm coming off a completely different tangent. I was just talking about preloaded trailers, but this is how my mind works. What I'm trying to tell you in so many words is I'm a land astronaut, I'm a land pilot, I'm a truck driver, I'm an over-the-road truck driver for Knight Transportation. I'm very grounded, I'm very focused, very, very focused on my job. It's the most important thing in my life. Why? Without my job, I'm in trouble. I don't want to work at Walmart for $10 an hour. I don't want to work at Starbucks. I don't want to have to look for another job, okay? So this job is really important. However, this job, my life right now, is temporary. Now, sobering thought, listen to this. If you are one human being watching this video, you may not even be somebody that knows me or cares or anything, but if you are a human being, this will make sense to you, I think, okay? Because I thought about this the other day. I ponder these kinds of things when I'm driving. That's what's kind of weird, okay? But I call it the 100-year thing, okay? 100 years. Now, 100 years for Christians and other spiritual people that say we're going to heaven and we're going to spend eternity, you know, we're going to spend forever with God and our loved ones. You know, eternity, you have that concept, well, forever is this, okay? So 100 years compared to forever is nothing. It's a flash, it's nothing. However, think of it this way. Every single person, even if a little baby was born yesterday, will probably not be here in 100 years, okay? Unless they live, obviously, to be 100 years old. And even that little baby, if they live to be 100 years old, because I know what this is like, because my mother and father, my dad's 88. My mom's about 86. I'm very close to them now. I've been living close to them and connected to them the last 12 years of their life, last 12 years of my life. So I can see kind of like what it's like if you're 88. So 100 years from now, most likely, I know I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to be 168 years old. So 100 years from now, everything we know, everybody we know, everything, who knows where the world's going to be 100 years from now, but everything that you think is permanent and important and forever and so real is going to be gone. Okay? So that kind of wakes you up to impermanence, okay? And how life is so fragile, okay? So...
Amy's going to do this regular speed that she does. She's been chanting over 30 years. So this is kind of the speed we're striving for. And she's not going to show her finger where she's at. She's just going to follow along in the booklet. Again, just one quick thing. We're doing the short version that we repeat several times in the morning and the evening. And so this is the regular fast speed that she does.
妙法蓮華経法弁本第二二次世尊13枚安常に記号車両受勝仏へ 人人無量語知永門難言難入一切小門百死仏小風の地小イーシャガ仏像真言百千万六
有名小人名小不門上智人人未造有法随義小説一種難下車両通過十上仏以来世十因年世十一有公園公教無視法弁道十上料理小弱小医者が如来法弁知見原密会具足舎利発如来知見広大
Okay, I'm interrupting Amy and my chanting. I just scaled, just field, and I have 5 minutes. I can just kind of put something in there. I recorded this last night, and I'll get deeper into an explanation of the story when I have more time, perhaps tonight. But Amy and I were chanting on my last visit to Japan, which was 2 years ago. Amy and her husband gave me an invitation to stay at their home for 2 weeks. And in exchange, they said, if we stay at our home, we'd like to invite you or encourage you to chant with us every morning and every evening so you can live or experience what we do, because they had been chanting and been a part of Nichiren Shoshu Buddhist organization for 35 or 40 years, both of them. So they did it religiously. Now, I met Amy in the most magical way. This is the short version. I think I'd gone to Japan three times, and I was staying at an Airbnb about 3 stops from the Tokyo Skytree. And you have to kind of like think about this and just, what are the chances of this happening? When I get up when I'm at an Airbnb, I don't always have a set plan. I often just get up and wander around on the trains and just kind of walk and just explore. And that particular day, I decided to go to the Tokyo Skytree because it was only 3 stops away, and it's a cool area to walk around. And I didn't premeditate this, but I was walking around below this Tokyo Skytree, and I thought to myself, gosh, I'm in Japan, where when I had been a member of SGI in Denver, when I met Takako, and then Taki and Takako had actually brought me down to the SGI Cultural Center, and I did not know how to chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. In fact, I didn't even know anything about it. I had studied Buddhism with Thich Nhat Hanh, Dalai Lama. I had done metaphysics and meditation. I did TM. I did Self-Realization Fellowship. I had been on kind of quote-unquote the spiritual path, including Christianity, when I grew up for 40 years, and I'd never heard of Nam Myoho Renge Kyo or Nichiren Buddhism or Nichiren Shoshu Buddhism, and I ended up becoming a member of the SGI Cultural Center, and I went to their district meetings and learned how to chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, and was religious about it for about 6 years in Denver. Okay, then I moved away and I started driving a truck, and I fell out of the practice. So Nichiren Buddhism originated 700 years ago in Japan. There's all kinds of different sects of Buddhism, like there's Vietnamese Buddhism, there's Buddhism that's in Sri Lanka, all over the world, you know. It's kind of like Christianity has different, they have Baptist and Presbyterian and different types of churches under the same umbrella of being potentially a Christian, even though they have different mindset or beliefs, but there's different churches. Buddhism is the same way. There's different forms, and Nichiren was a priest or a monk, whatever you want to call him, that 700 years ago had, they believe he was like it sounds funny, but there was the original Buddha that awakened under the Bodhi tree 2,500 years ago, and he had predicted that would be like the new law or the new the next, like almost like the New Testament in the Bible. And Nichiren, I may be explaining this wrong, but Nichiren was that next level of Buddhism, and he taught that Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, and there's 32 pages that Amy's chanting that you do it morning and evening. Now, I'm horrible at languages, but anyway, back to how I met her. I'm wandering around below the Tokyo Sky Tree, and I'm thinking to myself, that form of Buddhism, Nichiren, that I learned in Denver. I'm in Japan, for gosh sakes. Why don't I be open to checking it out here? I'm actually in Japan where it originated. I'm wandering around below the Tokyo Sky Tree, which is the tallest freestanding tower. It's kind of appropriate too. It's the largest freestanding tower in the world. And I'm thinking to myself, maybe I should be open to learning about it here. I was thinking, honestly, I've told Amy this, I was thinking of SGI, Soka International, because it was a huge organization. It was a Nichiren Buddhist organization worldwide with millions of members that I was a part of in Denver. So I was thinking I should just kind of like be more open to, I'm in the historical place. So I turn around when I'm thinking this, and there's Amy. And she says in so many words to me, "Are you an American?" I said, "Yes." And she goes, chit-chat a little bit, and then she says, "I'm a Buddhist and I chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, and we have a temple just a few blocks from here if you'd like to join us." And she was with these two other ladies, and I thought, I was just thinking this, and now they just appear out of nowhere. Well, she told me she was actually at a clothing store shopping, and she's thinking in terms of maybe it would be great to, they call it shakabuku, introduce this practice to an American today. She was thinking that, and here I come. I'm thinking I should maybe be open to this, and we come together. Now, when she told me they had a temple, I was thinking she was going to take me to a cultural center, Sokagaku Cultural Center. But she takes me into the temple, and I realize I've kind of made the connection, because I did know that there was another organization that was priests, that was the kind of the lineage, the pure lineage of Nichiren Buddhism. And then there was the SGI, and I was a member of the SGI, but then I realized this was the other more pure lineage with monks, priests. And I thought, wow, this is crazy. So I go in. She'd been chanting like 35 or 40 years with her husband. She was a really devout member. They call it a believer. It's like Christians, you have faith or you're a believer. They have the same mindset. And she said, would you like to chant with me? So I chanted for the first time there, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho. I still remembered how to do it with her, thinking, wow, this is really crazy. So right then and there, she arranged for a private meeting with the head priest, not the head priest of the whole organization, but the head priest of that particular temple, one-on-one. The priest could not speak English. Amy could speak English. So we sat and we went back and forth talking. And one of the things he was talking about was the differences between SGI, Soka International, and their particular form of Nichiren Buddhism, Nichiren Shoshu organization, and the difference between the two, and his opinion, his viewpoint. And I thought, this is really far out, So she more or less asked me what I'd like to do, and I just said, this is wild. I'd like to maybe get started today, So that day, that first day, the head priest did a private initiation into their temple. That day I became a member. And that's how it happened. Now I'm still learning. I have the booklet right here. I still have to read the booklet. I still don't have it memorized. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Ho Ben Pandai Ni, Niji Se Sanju San Maju, Niki Shore, Bachi, Ji Manangi, Isai Shofo Mana. I still have to have the booklet. But I'm going to give you some background on why I'm even sharing this. Now, Amy is the most humble, sweet, kind. That's kind of what drew me in. She's so down to earth, really humble. She lives, it's kind of like the way I use it in Western terms, that someone may be drawn to Christianity through the example of a person that lives like Christ-like, that they're loving, they're compassionate, they're sweet, they're kind, they have a good vibe, good energy. They're drawn to the person, not necessarily the religion. That's kind of how it was with Amy. So I just had to throw this in while I had a chance. It's like, what, a 4-minute version.
根人有那一個修行者利不是用公司無料無変未造無法物質上重視者利不是不修物性所以者が物症状中第一形有難言司法有物用物内の求人処方自訴所以処方尿税損尿税損尿税単尿税力尿税三尿税陰尿税炎尿税間尿税本尿税本膜京都所以処方尿税損尿税損尿税力尿税三尿税陰尿税炎尿税間尿税本尿税本膜京都所以処方尿税損尿税損尿税単尿税力尿税三尿税陰尿税炎尿税間尿税本尿税本膜
Now we're jumping to page 22, jumping ahead.
尿大重量本大重力士が特分大小教小公衆無料百千万国際や葬儀上説法教刑無収録収上領入大仏道二来無料行移動修上後方面元年半に実不別と常駐し説法が常駐をし以上人数力量天道修上水言に風権集権がメスト航空用車利限化営連邦に小活合心修上期新福一時期入南一心欲見別不自釈神名字が牛修総空出領重戦が自合修上常在地風滅違法便利行芸偶滅風滅予告修上空業新業者が部を非中異説無情報尿等噴門し単にが滅動が検証修上も素材要空海公封印原神両合小活公印合神連邦大続一説法人数力尿税大和葬儀工場材料重戦牛用小重小修上健康人大化小小寺が指導安門天人上10万恩人衝動学習重法称号法重多経過修上小有楽小天逆天空乗車衆議学マンダラ系産物牛大衆が浄土風紀二州県小人ウフ小空農業税10万税商材修上医薬合因年化葬儀交付門三本名称有州空特入は私力者即会見願新在市日説法各自医師修設物重無料空内見物者医設物難地が地力尿税交渉無料寿命無収航空集合所得尿等うち者元市将棋等断療養人物合実風公尿陰性方便維持おし公実際人言し無能施工網が薬医成分空将訓言者異本部天道実際人言滅異条件が今に小教師新法一着合力打を悪道中が上地修上行道風行道随用消化道一世修十法前時差前年因が領修上特入無浄土即上十部心
Okay, we're going to wrap this one up. It took 3 minutes and 47 seconds for her to do what we consider the short version that we repeat several times in the morning and evening. So this gives you an idea of what I'm striving for, but the speed you normally, after you learn this, that you would chant. So I'm going to close this out. This is just Amy doing it the fast version.
I have very mindfully selected this practice. Very, very mindfully. And when I'm on Tozan, it's a validation of that mindful process and acceptance and choice.
So the first thing I get back is set up my altar, and I bought a Butsudan, and I wanted to wait until I got to talk to a lot of members since I'm new. I've only been here for 3 or 4 months. I would chant more. I felt a big difference. We did a lot of chanting.
It's life-altering. And I'm not being histrionic when I say that. It is life-altering. You got it. It's like for everybody. Just do it. Just do it.
I'm very emotional right now. I changed to the Don concert. I wanted to bring somebody with me.
It's the ultimate thing that you need to do for your practice. And that is part of your practice.
大地界難下四方唯物有物内の空人諸法実相諸異諸法尿税相
This ticket is for the most important Daga Hazan.
And what did you write on it?
And I wrote the date.
Which is?
June 7th, 2015.
My biggest concern was how I was going to react when I see the Dago Hansen.
It's like the 7 continents all coming together for one single purpose.
You have to see it.
You're here with the world.
I wanted to come here before I was a member, but I found out I had to be a member. There's always some chanting going on here. You can feel it. It's always peaceful here. You know, it's and my impression is if the world did this, you would have Tozen Rufu.
Nam yo ho renge kyo.
Yo ho renge kyo ho ben pandai ni. 二次生存13枚安城二期合処理保持小物知恵人人無料後知恵門難芸難入一切小門日小風の地小医者が仏像信号百千万の国衆小仏林業小仏無料同法有名小寺名小風門上中人人未造右法随記小説一周難芸処理保持合十成仏以来修十因縁修十比喩公演音教無修方便引導修上料理小熟小医者が如来方便知見原密会意偶則処理発如来知見皇大人の無料無芸力無償意前上下脱三枚人入無祭上十一切未造右法処理発如来の修十分別行政商法言人入難越下修身処理発修四言心両無変未造右法物質上重視処理発不修仏摂生医者が仏性上重第一系右難芸司法唯物用物内の空人小法実相小医小法尿税総尿税小尿税大尿税力尿税三尿税陰遠尿税下尿税法尿税本膜教頭小
税法尿税本膜教頭小医小法尿税総尿税小尿税大尿税力尿税三尿税陰尿税尿税下尿税法尿税本膜教頭小医小尿税総尿税小尿税大尿税力尿税三尿税陰尿税遠尿税下尿税法尿税本膜教頭妙法蓮華経如来寿
experience.
Actually, what jumped out to me was the amount of believers. Like I had this false perception that it was just going to be us here, like 50, 60 people, not like hundreds of thousands of people.
I was good. Surprised by the number of countries as well. Like I thought it would be us and then Japanese people, but then to see all the different countries that were here, I thought that was pretty amazing.
The biggest surprise it was this morning when I saw all the Gohonson, how they preserve all these Gohonson for so many years.
Well, my reaction was like, this is awesome. It's one thing to see something on television or hear someone else's experience of seeing it, but for seeing it for myself was powerful.
You know what? In the end of the day, I feel tired. But when we walk all day and we saw different things, I don't feel tired. I like it. I like it.
That appreciation
really?
for the cheer.
Oh yeah, I did say that I have a newfound appreciation for a chair. So it's a lot of kneeling. But then again, going back to those young priests, they kneel for so long, and even the retired head priest, he was kneeling for some of these ceremonies. And I'm like, if a 90-year-old man can do it, I can do it. So it definitely is something you have to adjust to. But at the same time, you can do it, and it feels good that you can.
Something like that before. Yeah, I love it.
That is something I would be interested in experiencing again, like setting a goal, like experience at least every 2 years, to keep my practice and my conviction strong by coming to Tozan.
And I think you can't possibly go to everything. You know, I mean, like today we saw the Gohonzons, but then you could go see the Gosho passages, and that's something I would like to come back and see eventually. And I feel like each time you can probably get a different experience out of it and see more. And as your practice deepens, you inevitably will take more out of it.
You might ask, I've asked myself, if you don't ask this question, maybe you don't, but I ask myself, why am I getting up at 2 in the morning when I need to be rolling like 6:30, 4 hours from now in my job to Southern California on a full day? I'm on a very kind of tight transit time. Basically, what I just checked it out. I have to deliver this load tomorrow between 7 a.m. and noon in the Los Angeles area, and I'm in like remote Oregon, you know, north of Weed, California. Driving a truck over the road, once you get past the rookie stage, where you get past the grasshopper stage, forward to tonight's video that we put together, and that leads me into. I love making these videos, and I used to, before I made these videos, I'd have a 10-hour break. I never sleep 10 hours or 8 hours. So I would typically just kind of watch YouTube videos or watch YouTube TV and kind of like, entertain myself and then go to bed. all the way northbound, runs into the Interstate 84 that runs into Portland and runs all the way over into Boise, Idaho, in that area. And the 97 ultimately goes down to Wayne, California, where Interstate 5 is. And that's ultimately where I'm going. We connect with Interstate 5 in Wayne, California. Now I can put music to this. I don't know how the road noise is coming out. I can do my voiceover over this. But to me, this is beautiful. We're kind of leveling out. It's bright, sunny, trees. And again, we're in Oregon, and we're approximately 62 miles from my destination where I'm picking up my load. It's a preloaded trailer. And I'm dropping off this empty, getting my arrive and shipper, my loaded call, and then I'll have approximately 3 hours or so, depending on where I want to stop. I ideally need to drive as far as I can tonight, but the variable too, and I have to think in terms of where I'm going to park. Now there is a Lapine Gordy's truck stop that I know always has parking. I may have to resort to park there. The Chismet Pilot often is full now, and I'm approximately something like 700 something miles away. So today I have to drive my spaceship, my truck, at least 550 miles, so that when I shut down tonight, and I'll be making another movie tonight, I take my 10-hour break and I deliver tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to be in LA before noon. And guess what? After I do that, I'm going to do another load. And after I do that, guess what? I'm going to do another load. Guess what? After that, I'm going to do another load. I'm going to keep doing loads until I feel tired, until I tell night, well, I'm ready to go home for a couple days. And that's the way my life has been for 9 years. Now, frankly, Mike, Sylvia, Chicago, in fact, I would say there are a few friends that know kind of what this is like, and I'll specifically identify them. My friend Don, okay? My friend Don was one of my students, okay? Now, this is a perfect example. I can just sit in front of the camera. I don't have any idea what I'm going to talk about, and I just find something to talk about, and I think that's kind of weird. And it's really weird, too, because I'm really just talking to myself, okay? And now, I give Madeline credit, my drive van terminal manager. I've sent her my videos, and I'm surprised. I'm so thankful she I don't know. She seems to still think I'm a good driver, even though I'm a little weird, But my life is not boring. But my whole point with this is I never dreamed my life would be like this at 68 years old. I've been working 70-hour work weeks for 12 years. Now stop to think about that. That's 40 hours plus 30. I've tried to explain it to my folks. They kind of get it because they've actually been with me every step of the way since I started driving a truck. They're not in my truck, but for the first couple years, I went home to their home in Big Bear, California, Big Bear City. My dad would drive his truck down to the Fontana yard, pick me up. I'd go back to their house. I'd be with them for 4 days. My mom would cook me home cooking. I'd be drinking a couple of beers and going online, and I'd go back to work. They saw me doing teams for 3 solid years, at least more than most of you. But during that time, I had a student named Don when I was a trainer. We almost got in a fight, and I tried to call my driver manager, this when I was with CRST, and tell him, what do I do? The student and I are about ready to punch each other out. I'm not well, that's Don. As it turned out, the driver manager said, why don't you guys just work it out? We worked it out. We've been best friends. In fact, he's one of the few friends that has been to my home. Okay, he's one of the few friends that actually has met my mom and dad. And I'm losing a lot of videos. I don't even know where it is, to be honest with you. My biggest problem isn't growing old and dying. It's storage. sounds funny. My biggest problem isn't dying. It's my storage problem. I'm creating so much content that I have to figure out how to use external hard drives and 1 terabytes and stuff, because on top of a 7-day work week, I'm making these videos, and my videos are like nothing you've seen before, anywhere. I don't care, even the night transportation videos, because they also include Japan, Nichiren Shoshu, Buddhism, my story, which I'm going to try to share some of it with you. I've talked to some of my friends, even my folks, about this, but I don't think, well, I know some of my friends in Phoenix that I go to, you know, their in-home meetings, they understand because they're members. And I know my friend Amy in Tokyo understands because I've stayed with her and her husband for 2 weeks and chanted with them in the morning and evening. I've gone to the temple, I've gone to the head temple with them. And actually, she was the one that I originally met, who told me again for a second time about chanting No-Myoho Renge Kyo and, you know, and Nichiren Shoshu Buddhism versus just Nichiren SGI Buddhism. So she understands. But that's another whole conversation. It's now been 2 years since I've been to Japan, so I'll have a lot going on. And again, it's nothing like I imagined it to be being 68 years old. And trying to capture all this in a video so somebody else can understand, frankly, I'm failing. Because I don't get any comments. I have 15 subscribers. It's like I'm not even making these videos. So I've come to realize that perhaps the only reason I'm making them is to capture this time in eternity or in impermanence or just part of my life, so that at least can look back and kind of reflect on my life, and then I disappear. Because I don't have children, I don't have a wife, I don't have a girlfriend. My parents are old, they're probably not going to be here when I leave, probably. I'm just going to probably die alone, and when I die, you know, there's probably going to be nobody even at my memorial service, even if I have one. I realize that I'm a pretty solo, pretty single guy, you know, that I've come to the conclusion that, you know, Chikako's not even talking to me now. She used to talk to me. If people come and they kind of go, at least Sylvia is in contact on a certain level through the miracle of technology, but we're not talking. We're not communicating. And it's amazing to have somebody that I had over 2,000 pages of email that flew across the other side of the world to see, not once, but twice, that I thought I wanted to spend the rest of my life with, that even talked about us having a baby. And I've met her children, I met her father, I met her mother, I have all kinds of incredible memories, and we're not even talking. That's a perfect example, in my mind, of this Buddhist idea of impermanence, you know. Things seem really cool, you have these feelings that seem really real, and you have a future that you're going to live into that you're completely convinced it's going to happen. And, you know, 15 or 20 years later, they're not even talking to you. You know, they're not even in your life anymore. So, the whole driving to Tokyo thing has many different layers, and I still have the layer where driving to Tokyo, high performance team, taking places you've never been before, empowered by No-Myoho Renge Kyo. It's still there. It just feels like a pure potentiality thing that's there. I can see it. I can see how it works, the mechanism and everything, and I can see that I could potentially pull it off in 5 years. However, I can't do that alone. But I've kind of stuck that to the side. I've tried to now just simplify this whole, Mike calls it a project, to It's really pretty simple. I drive a truck. I do my transflows. I'm actually done real well financially compared to where I was. I keep a good relationship with my employer, with Night Transportation. I get up in the morning, I have coffee, and I make a video. I make a video at night. Now, part of the reason I'm here, I'm so friggin' disciplined. I went to bed last night not making a video. And it's so embedded in my mind that you gotta make a video in the morning, you gotta make a video at night. I end up waking up in the middle of the night to make it before I start my day because I'm so disciplined. And it's really weird too because I'm sitting here at a truck stop talking to myself, making a video for you. I'm making it for myself, but I am making these videos to share with the world. That's why I invested $8,500 to hire Mike to help me launch my channel because I thought I actually had something of value to share, the world, that people would be able to benefit by what I'm doing. However, it's not happening. Okay? It's not happening. At least right now. Maybe the karmic ripple, law of magnetism, maybe after I make, I download about 100 videos so far. Maybe after I've done this 5 years, and I've done, I've got 3 a day would be 90 a month, or let's call it round off to 100 a month. In a year, that's 1,200 videos. 5 years, it'd be 6,000 videos. Maybe after driving 5 more years and at the ripe age of 73, and I've made 6,000 videos out there, and I'm retiring, and I'm no longer in the truck, people start inquiring about, what does it mean to be a truck driver? How do you get started? It's like, it happens like 5 years from now. Or it happens after I'm gone. My videos are on YouTube, and I'm like Wayne Dyer, Ram Dass. I've gone, and my videos are here on YouTube, but I'm no longer here. It could be that way. I'm open. I think I have an idea of what's going to happen, but anything's possible. So anyway, I'm going to stop this video. I'm going to disappear, and I'm going to start recording, and then I want to go back to sleep for a little while. Then I'm going to get my coffee, and then I'm going to start my regular reality day. Okay? This is my part of my 10-hour break. I literally was, check this out. Okay, that's all these lights. Okay, do you hear me still? I was in the dark. I was trying to sleep, and I know this seems weird, but I trust me, it's weird for me. I'm like on my 10-hour break. You can hear me, right? Right? And I was sleeping. I didn't even know what time it was. And that inner voice is like, hey, dude, you didn't make a video. I call it the sub-dudes. I know this is really going to sound weird. But if I'm just watching these videos myself, I don't think it's weird because it's my life, right? But the sub-dudes are like, you have your subconscious mind, your limiting beliefs, and all your higher power and your higher self and all this. And it's like, it won't let me sleep. It's like, dude, you got to make your video. I'm like, I want to sleep. No, you didn't make it before you go to bed. You said you were going to go to bed for a while, and then you were going to wake up in the middle of the night, make it really quick, and go back to sleep. Now it is in the middle of the night. You got to wake up and make your video. And that's the way my life is. So I turn on the light. I'm like, wake up. Here we go. I'm like, come on, man. I want to sleep. It's like, no, you got to make your video. So it's like that. My life's like that, So here I am. I'm talking to myself on a camera. I don't even know if you're here. And that's the way my life is going to be, I think. Okay. I drive a truck. I make these videos. And I don't even know if anybody's watching. I think people are watching. But, so, I have to just be at peace with that, right? So I have to drive a truck by day, sleep at night, wake up, get up again, start all over again. But, you know, I can't see myself doing anything else but this. It might sound funny. Oh, maybe the lights or stand up. It's not the best lighting at night in my spaceship. This is actually, it might sound funny, but I do feel like a land pilot. I'm saying stand up. I'm actually standing up. Now, if you're in a van, like my friend Sophia was showing me her van, and she's showing me her bed, and she's gonna crash in. Looking down at my driving compartment, I have my clothes, I have a closet here. I have lots of room, lots of storage. I have an iPad, I have my minimalist bag, I have my M1 MacBook, I have my bags, my clothes, my backpack, a mirror. You know, I have, I'm totally comfortable in my truck. Okay, so it does feel like I'm in a space capsule, and I'm a land path. I did pack some extra stuff up here, a jacket, a backpack, a bunch of other stuff. See, just stuff up here. I have another space here. I don't even have anything up here, and I have lots of space. I've been living in this truck for 2 years. I've driven 189,000 miles. I've driven the equivalent of driving around the world maybe 4 or 5 times. And I spend a majority of my life in this truck. And I love it. Anyway, let me officially get started with this video. I don't know if anybody's here, but I have to make it so I can go to sleep. Because if I make the video, that voice will let me sleep. It won't say, you haven't made your video. You gotta. No, I got to make the video, so let's me sleep. Now check this out. Okay, here we go. This tells me how much more time I have before I have to start my day. This is 6 hours. So I have 4 more hours before I should leave, okay? Because I'm on a tight schedule. So if I make an hour video for you, whoever you may be, technically, see, I had some time here. That's kind of weird. Oh, that's because I only have 1 hour and 15 minutes on my 14. I didn't know whether I'd be able to make it to the next truck stop and if there'd be parking, so I decided to park here. I've got 21 hours on my 70, which is good because I'm going to need 11. I'm not gaining any hours tonight. I'm going to use a full 11 hours or 12 hours. So when I take my 10-hour break tonight, tomorrow, I'm only going to have 9 hours. 9 hours unless I gain some time. Now what we can do is we can actually look at road view here. Okay, check this out. Check this out. Okay. Let's look at this. Okay, nothing. Okay, this is the 0. Okay, so folks, this is technical stuff, land pilot stuff. 0. So tomorrow night, not tonight. You know, tonight's after midnight. So tonight after midnight, I'm not going to gain any time. But Monday midnight, I'm going to gain 7 hours, then I'm going to gain 553, and then I'm going to gain 726, and I'm going to gain 808, and then I'm going to gain, looks like 936, 945. Okay, it looks like, here's the strategy. It looks like based on that I'm not going to gain anything tonight, I'm going to need at least 7 hours tomorrow to drive the rest of the way. And then I'm only gaining 7 and then 5 and 3. I might be better off to tell dispatch that let me deliver this load and use the 7 and this 5 to go back to Phoenix and take a break. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay. That's what we're gonna do. So that's the game plan. See, 796 miles. 796 miles. Okay. Check this out. Check this out. Here we are. Here we are. See, there's Bend, Oregon, right there. This is where we are in the world. This is my truck. Okay. This is Portland. I'm just in Portland. I have video on here on the camera. Hopefully I have it on here. I hate when I record stuff and I don't have. There I am. Okay. This is my flight plan. See this blue line? That's my flight plan. And this is my destination, Los Angeles. This is where I'm going to be tomorrow. Okay. Right? Okay. And then if you want to see the big picture, there I am. Where am I at? Okay. Okay. There I am. See the truck? There I am. Now if you want to see the big picture, you know, like to say the 35,000 foot view. Okay. Japan. Here's Japan. So if I have friends watching this video in Japan, this is where they are. Okay. This is where I am right now. Isn't that cool? Now Sylvia is down here in Sao Paulo. Okay. She's down here. Or maybe she's up at her folks' house. I don't know where she's actually physically, but she's in this general vicinity right here. Sylvia, okay. And Chicago, my friend Chicago is in Japan. Okay. Let's make this. Okay, we gotta get up to Japan. Here we go. Chicago's in Japan. So let's officially begin this video because I'm gonna only make it about an hour, so I can sleep 3 more hours. And I'm gonna start my day, and I'm going in to get some coffee here. And this is my life. This is my life, folks. This is what I do for a living. This is how I live. Okay. And I work for night transportation. Now I don't know where I get my friggin' energy. I'm almost 70 years old, and this really, it's not even. I don't even know how this happens. So, yeah, it's kind of cool when I start up the truck. I want to start up the truck so you can see what it's like. I hate this weather thing that comes on. It comes on. There must be a way. Now listen to this. It's the truck starting up. Action. Camera. This is like, you know, I've lost some of my stuff. Videos, it's kind of a drag, so now I have to make new ones. So here we are. This is, now, see, I have these curtains right here. They're really kind of cool. I open them up so that I can show you what it looks like outside. See? Okay. And I can turn on. Let me show you. This. I'm worried about, not worried, but for the first time in my whole adult life, you know, all through my 20s, all through my 30s, all through my 40s, and into my 50s, and even into my 60s, I never had to think about, can I pull this off? I never had to think of age as being a liability. You know, I had lots of, and I still have lots of energy. When I was a trainer, my 20-something-year-old students couldn't keep up with me. They're like, you don't walk like an old man, you don't talk like an old man. They were exhausted. And some of them quit. Some couldn't cut it, and I was like outworking them. But that was like, you know, I'm going with 9 years. That was 9 years ago. So 9 years or 10 years is critical when you're my age. However, if you're, I just met a night driver. I said this in another video. Maybe I'm gonna go back with this better light. Is the lighting really a big deal? Okay. See, then I have to hold the camera on. Plus, I want to drink my coffee. No, I'm going to stick it up here. It's not the most ideal. Okay. I want to drink my coffee. I met a 21-year-old night driver. So frankly, I didn't know what age you have to be to drive because I was 55, you know, but he was 21. And I said, dude, you know, you're my ideal avatar, man. You're the person I'm making my channel for, you know, ideally. I mean, anyone can benefit by my channel who's interested in truck driving, whether you're 25, 35, 45, 55, maybe 75, it's too late, to be honest with you. And so I asked him to tell me his story and how he liked night. Now, this is a perfect example. I'm 10 minutes into this video, but hopefully you're here. Okay. And we're 21 more minutes before I have to do my pre-trip and roll. And frankly, I told Madeline about this, my drive van manager. I should have got his truck number. He said he was subscribed to my channel because I should have been following up with him because he was like my avatar. He's like the perfect candidate, the one I would like to reach because they have their whole life in front of them. But he basically said I think it might not have this exact, but along the lines of, I think his father was a doctor. One of his sisters was studying to be a lawyer. In other words, they were educated. You know, they weren't truck drivers. And he grew up on a farm, and he wasn't. I said, well, are you going to just do this for a few years and then go to college and become a doctor or a lawyer? No. He said, I'm going to do this the rest of my life. I love this. And he had a big smile on his face. And he's from the Gulf, out of the Gulf terminal in the Gulf. And I asked him why. And it was all the things that I thought in my mind that were selling points for someone his age. Job security. Never has to think about a job again. Because once you know how to drive a truck, you never have to worry. Because even if you're not happy with night, when you get your experience, if you really want to, truthfully, they know that, you can go to another company. Okay? You can. So night's going to want to make sure everybody from the driver managers to people that take care of you want to make sure you have a good driving experience. Because if you have a bad driving experience, they know you can leave the company. They don't want you to leave. You're an asset. I mentioned earlier before that someone told me I had earned the company $1 million so far. So it's a cool thing for me because I was a massage therapist. I was a taxi cab driver. I did network marketing. I always did things that I loved doing, but to tell you the truth, I didn't really ever have. Well, massage therapy, I was making $6,500 an hour, $50 base when I was in my 20s. So I could work 4 hours and make $200. This is back in the 80s. So I considered that. I went to the New Mexico School of Natural Therapeutics. I graduated, opened up an office with my wife. I considered that a legitimate career, okay? But it was the kind of thing where I had to go out and get my clients. And this, they bring the business to me. It's a legitimate career, you know, it really is, with good job security. Now, someone say, well, you can't make $100,000 or something. Well, I just turned down $100,000 a year night job. I turned it down, okay? Now, night payroll told me it was one of the best paying jobs that night has. The catch is you had to do teams, which is hard to find drivers with experience that could do. I was the most ideal candidate. Almost did it. I could still do it. I could call the person that wanted to hire me and say, hey, I've changed my mind. I want to do this thing. I'm going to find a co-driver and rock and roll. And I could be making $100,000 a year. I could probably be saving $50,000 a year, $60,000 a year for 5 years and have $250,000 to retire with if I wanted to. That's the opportunity's there. Now, starting from where I was to know I have that kind of possibility, if I choose it, is really cool. Okay. I still have to drink my coffee. And the clock is ticking. My own dad, this is true, my dad, I was talking to my mother and father about this because they know where I've come from. They remember, they've seen they witnessed my whole driving career. For the first time in my life, my dad said he's proud of me, and they're proud of the way I've turned my life around, and I have. But my own dad said, I told him, look, it's tempting. I could make $84,000 base. I'm just doing a dedicated from Memphis to Phoenix to Southern California, and they'll route me home. I'll still have the same home time. I'm basically doing the same job I am now, except I'm just sharing the truck with another driver. My dad said that 1-man and 2-man thing, I want to do the 2-man thing. You're sharing the truck with someone. You're trying, he knows all the things, the liabilities, because I did it for 3 years. You're trying to sleep with the truck rolling. With solo, I have a scheduled 10-hour break. Like, this is 10 hours. There's not another driver here. I'm sipping my coffee. I'm making this video. My quality of life as a truck driver is much better. Okay. TikTok, I got 16 more minutes. Okay. So I said, don't do the 2-man. This was just maybe a month ago or so. And then he told me, I kind of know this, but I don't like really talking about it, because my parents have said that when they pass away, you know, I'm going to have an inheritance. I have 2 sisters. And my dad said, don't worry when we pass on and we're gone. My dad wants to live another 1.5 years. That's his goal. Oh, I want to just make it to 90. Oh, man, my heart goes out to him. You know, I'm 68. I'm almost 70. You know, that's just right around the corner for me. Now, my dad can't even really ride in the truck. He's actually using a walker now. He's having to use oxygen. His heart's operating at 20% now. But his mind's still there, but my heart goes out to him. He knows, you know. But he's still my father, and he said, son, don't worry. You know, you won't have to worry about money. Don't do this. Just do what you're doing. So I decided, that's part of the reason why I decided to do it. Continue doing it. Plus, I love it. Plus, I'm good at it. So, back to the 21-year-old. That's my niche. Now the big question is, how am I going to reach those 21-year-olds or 22-year-olds out there in the world? How am I going to drive traffic to my site? Do I have to pay someone, say, this is the niche I want to reach out to? You guys are the expert. Can you send them to my channel? Because if I have so many of them, you know, I'm going to fulfill my purpose, number one. Number two, Knight does pay $500 per student. Okay. Now, I'm not really doing it for the 500 or the 1,000 right now for rehires, or the 1,500 commission for drivers that are coming from other companies. That's not, I mean, it's cool that they're going to pay that, but that isn't my motivation. My motivation is to pay it forward, because I honestly feel that, like the fellow I talked to, he said, wow, this is great. He went through all the things. Yeah, they don't micromanage me. I just do my thing. I dress the way I want to dress. I make good money. You know, I'm having fun. I love it, you know. And all the things he said, just about any 20-something-year-old that was trying to figure out what to do with their life, whether they go to college or go to the military or go to a corporate world, and they're trying to look for a career, even if it's not a forever thing, to do this as a young person for 5 years. Now, Dave, my friend Dave in Japan, who I noticed he's in the Navy, he's been in the Navy 11 years. He's a good example. He's young. I hung out with him with Sauri and his friends. Cool. They serve in the military, and he's decided to make the Navy, it looks like a career, because he's been there 11 years, not just a couple years. And it's really cool. I mean, I shouldn't say it's really cool, because he's living on a ship and traveling, and he doesn't have, like me, he's deployed, and he doesn't have a normal life. But like me, I told them when I met them, and I have pictures of these guys too, by the way, and I have only 12 more minutes. So we're gonna have to, I can't talk and sip coffee, and I've got 12 more minutes to do my pre-trip. So this video again is October 11th, Monday. Erica comes in at 2 more hours. So my videos from this point forward, I'm going to try to make them reality based and kind of educational, and hopefully I'll get better at to where people will want to watch it, and I'm targeting who I want to talk to. So I've made hundreds of videos, and probably a lot of them are bad on my channel, to be honest with you. But I'm gonna try to fine-tune things. Okay, but truthfully, I just wanted to finish my coffee. I've got now 11 minutes, do some mixing, and drop this in on YouTube to be my morning video, right? So let me shut this off and do my thing while I'm sipping my coffee. Then I'm gonna do my pre-trip hit down the road, because I've got between 7 and 12 noon to go, 275 miles. And then after that, I have I'll have to find out what I have to do next. I'm hoping I can go back to Phoenix and I get a pre-plan where I'll have enough time to pick up the pre-plan, you know, and head to Phoenix and shut down. Maybe take a couple days off at home and then hit it again. Okay, push the button. Okay, here we go.